YouTube, today we have another video and it is titled Why Fast Food Got So Expensive. I don't think we've ever watched one of these videos from this channel on YouTube, like on the YouTube before. We are live on Twitch, StoryofMike with 2 eyes, do reacts every day. During the summer we're gonna do a bunch of segments and a bunch of stuff. So you want to come to the Twitch. Come to the Twitch. We do reacts, we play games, we do a lot more than just, what I show you guys over here on YouTube. But we are going to get into the video and make sure to like and subscribe.
The backlash began with just a photo. Here, at a rest stop off Route 95 in Darien, Connecticut, between a Subway, Dunkin' Donuts, and Sbarro, sits a McDonald's. In 2023, a traveler passing through was astonished by its prices. Instead of reaching for their wallet, they pulled out their phone to capture the absurdity. A Big Mac meal running nearly $18.
Okay, so yeah, I have a rant. I have a rant ready. I don't feel like going to get the tweet, but there is a tweet discourse on Twitter talking about how there's a Big Mac combo that's, around $18 and that home cooked food was cheaper, which it is. And there was a bunch of people saying, no, it's not. I don't want 8 burgers. I want 1, whatever. But yes, getting a burger, a soft drink, and fries costs you $18. That's insane. Is that not?
The picture was posted on Twitter and accompanied by a question, and the response was overwhelming. The meal and its outlandish price tag went viral. It sparked conversation across social media, it made national news, it got so big that even McDonald's itself got involved, releasing a statement accompanied by a handy graphic aimed to bust some myths about just how expensive McDonald's had become over the past few years.
And it's not myths. McDonald's got more expensive.
What gave this story such
it's not just McDonald's.
It felt like the perfect example of a phenomenon that was bigger than the Northeast and bigger than McDonald's, but instead one impacting all Americans at all fast and fast casual food spots. That these cheap and convenient dining options were just no longer cheap. An $18 burger meal proved that point anecdotally, but some further research proved as much too. In the past decade, overall food prices were trending higher than the overall consumer price index, and then prices for food away from home have trended yet higher again than overall food prices.
Okay.
Within the category of food away from home, more research showed, price growth at limited service restaurants, or fast and fast casual, was outpacing sit-down restaurants. Fast food wasn't just reflecting broader rising costs for the American consumer.
So is he saying sit down is better? Is he saying like sit down price-wise is obviously going up, but not as aggressively as fast food? That makes sense because you pay for convenience. So a lot of people will pay the price hike to get something from McDonald's rather than sit and maybe like a Chili's or an Outback.
It was leading the charge. Now, accompanying the general outrage over an $18 Big Mac meal were the explanations as to how we got here. Often led by industry insiders or the industry itself, the explanations cited things simply out of fast food's control. Labor, for instance, had become more expensive after COVID. California had passed a bill that was going to hike minimum wage for fast food workers to $20 an hour. Retail ground beef prices had soared across the decade too, while supplies like paper wrapping, cups, and packaging shot upward as well. With trade wars, tariffs, stimulus checks, and increasing minimum wages, fast food chains were forced to get more expensive and
they had to.
These prices off.
They weren't going to say the same price.
Or at least that's what they'd like their customer base to believe.
Ooh.
What's lost in this broadly true but incomplete explanation is the fact that pricing is not just a reflection of strictly costs and constraints, but broader business strategy. Fast food is not just getting more expensive because of factors beyond the industry's control, it's getting more expensive because the business of fast food is changing on the fly. Compare these two burger joints
They
on
can charge more if they want.
Burbank, California.
If they can charge more, they're going to charge more.
Cutting edge of fast food's change, the other an industry outlier that simply refuses to change. These two storefronts offer a very similar product at a very similar price. The Double-Double at In-N-Out Burger costs $6.10, and the Big Mac at McDonald's at $6.49. Both offering a conceptually analogous item sold at about the same price is largely where the similarities between
In-N-Out is cheaper?
businesses end. Their business strategies
Wait,
and
what?
operations, in fact, are so different that In-N-Out wants you to buy a double-double burger, while McDonald's, on the other hand, actively hopes you don't. While a bit cheaper, on average, the consumer is going to find the double-double an objectively better product.
Yeah, that's
Personal
what
preference
I'm
aside, the
saying.
double-double is made up of ingredients that have never been frozen. The meat was processed by In-N-Out at one of these two locations that are both within a day's drive, while
Okay.
ingredients like buns have been contracted
That's a
out to the
day's
same company
drive
since
from
the
LA?
1950s, ensuring freshness and consistent quality. That superior consistency and quality is then carried through the process of preparing those ingredients and interacting with the customer making the order, as each location is laid out in an almost identical manner, while staff is trained and expected to deliver a highly standardized product with a cheery, welcoming attitude.
Yep.
Whether by comparative Google reviews between
Chick-fil-A
Burbank
method.
locations or annual rankings for customer satisfaction, In-N-Out is going to beat McDonald's. And it has to, as it's core to the company's strategy. This In-N-Out, and every In-N-Out, has a lot of staff to pay. Whereas McDonald's can run a slow shift with 5 to 10 employees, an In-N-Out will be staffed with 10 to 15, and during the lunch and
Like, and I'll say this, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, when you go to like the Burger King or Wendy's or something, they will have like 2 employees. Like, I don't know if that's just like a thing where I am, but like when I was going to fast food places, they would have like 2 or 3 employees and they would just be on their phone. In-N-Out, you don't see that. In-N-Out, they have like 10, 15 people. I know like Chick-fil-A will still also have like 10, 15 people, but like Burger King and you know, the cheaper fast food places normally have a lot less people, but they still have people come through because, you know, it's just brand recognizability. I don't know. In-N-Out is better though. I think In-N-Out's up there like fast food wise because you can get something healthy from In-N-Out.
Dinner rushes, this number can regularly balloon to 25. And not only are there more people to pay, but they're getting paid better as this Burbank location starts its staff at $22 an hour with benefits and quick positional and pay advancement.
How good is that in Cali, chat?
With industry-leading pay and staffing and a comparatively cheap product, the chain saves through vertical integration. The company owns the locations rather than renting them. It operates its own meat processing and trucking, and it sources products from pink lemonade to paperware from the same singular companies it has for decades. But those savings aside, to profit off a menu built around $5 and $6 burgers, this location needs to sell a lot. Because of a combination of quality and consistency, an In-N-Out customer will gladly brave a 20-minute drive-thru wait or stand in line for a few minutes without the privilege of ordering ahead or through an app. And because of this loyalty to the product, an average location does annual revenue of about $6 million a year. McDonald's, on the other hand, averages about $4 million per location a year. More impressive still, In-N-Out pulls in 33% more business in 15% less time, as its locations are open for an average of 14.5 hours a day compared to McDonald's' 17. Family-owned, consistent, clean, simple, In-N-Out feels like what fast food was like at its founding in the 50s. But that's exactly why it's so singular, so unique from the rest, and so small. In its home state of California, there are only 289 locations compared to over 1,200 McDonald's within the state. Just within this narrow cross-section of Burbank, McDonald's outnumbers In-N-Out 4-1. In-N-Out is tiny in the grand scheme of things, and in every trend of fast food, it's an outlier. But the very fact that it competes with, and in many cases outcompetes the larger fast food chains on price while providing equal to better quality, shows
I did not know it was
is
cheaper at In-N-Out. I was convinced In-N-Out was more expensive.
Something simply forced upon the industry. With 14,000 locations in just the US, but just 5% of those locations operated by the publicly traded company, McDonald's as a corporation just can't maximize consistency or quality of products like In-N-Out, nor are they really incentivized to. You see, the transformation that
you had the franchising, but after that, like, it's not really worth going over
all day.
Yeah.
In the 2010s, as year-over-year sales across US locations were either stagnating or falling, McDonald's, under new leadership, looked to counter the rise of fast casual restaurants encroaching on their territory. CEO Steve Easterbrook wanted McDonald's to be the modern, progressive burger company. That meant better quality chicken, fresher beef, more data-driven decisions, and a more capable mobile app. The first major move was that all-day breakfast
their app got better.
Customers had always clamored for this, surveys called for it, but leadership understandably had reservations. Would it be worth the kitchen remodels and complications? Would the move cannibalize lunch and dinner product performance? Rather than go off a hunch, they modeled it, leaning on a tech partnership with Applied Predictive Technologies, then rolling out a regional trial and collecting receipt data with the help of the NPD group. The study showed that all-day breakfast would bring customers they had lost back, while also adding to overall receipt totals, as midday diners were showing a tendency to toss a breakfast item like a McMuffin or hash brown on their order. Confident enough to push the franchise to remodel their kitchens and take on all-day breakfast.
Do y'all do that? Look. Hash brown, you see it's in the sides, right? Like when you get to like these type of companies, like every successful company understands what they're doing and what they're selling, right? So, you know, having breakfast items all day lets people add, you know, like a yogurt parfait or like a, you know, hash brown, even though they were gonna get like McNuggets, you know what I mean? Goodness, what are these videos? We'll watch this one. But yeah, like having more options is good for certain companies. A lot of companies, like if Cane's started doing milkshakes, they would encroach on Chick-fil-A. And then if the shakes weren't good and they couldn't get them franchised well, it would hurt their business more. So a lot of businesses stay in that one lane. That's why there's so many like chicken shops or like just smoothie shops, like that just focus on that one thing. McDonald's is different because McDonald's is like $1 trillion company.
The company began a major turnaround, and they attributed it to not just a host of breakfast items, but the increasing importance of big tech and big data in the company's operations.
Yep, which is something you can do when you're a big company.
Consider these 3 transactions. One buying a Big Mac meal in Aztec, New Mexico, one buying a Big Mac meal in Newcastle, Colorado, and one buying the same product again, this time in Burbank, California. The difference in prices between the 3 reflect what McDonald's can't control: the independent franchisee pricing that accounts for labor costs and other local factors. But consider the medium through which each transaction occurred: 2 kiosks and a phone screen, and now McDonald's greatest tool for business optimization comes into focus. Historically, a common refrain for those in the know was that McDonald's is a real estate company. This still holds true. They own much of the land on which their franchise locations sit. They count on rent as a core income stream. But in the last decade, McDonald's, along with its large competitors, have increasingly become tech companies too. Turning to tech allowed McDonald's to focus on a critical aspect of the company's shortcomings that all-day breakfast had hinted at: convenience. Customers wanted shorter wait times, faster orders, and ways to order ahead. In short, this meant
the apps.
In 2019, the restaurant chain acquired a company called
the deals and everything of the sort.
Optimize and personalize the ordering experience through past user data and trends. It was the largest acquisition by McDonald's in 20 years, and it forever altered the ordering process.
Why do they always find the camera and stare at it?
Big Mac.
Goodness.
Now, really, no matter its price, a Big Mac is either a loss leader or only derives a tiny turn of profit for a McDonald's location. If you were to order one in the past then, whether in the drive-thru line or counter line, you'd be faced with a whole host of promotions of new products, drinks, or all-day breakfast items in the form of physical posters and banners on the menu. And when you went to order your simple sandwich, you'd be asked if you'd like to turn it into a meal, as French fries and especially fountain drinks have far better margins. Perhaps you'd be tempted to do so because McDonald's, after all, has years of experience and tricks in getting you to spend a little bit more. McDonald's has a long-used meal pricing decoy strategies, for example, to make the large meal feel so similarly priced to the medium that you go ahead and opt for the large. If you were to leave with just a sandwich, that'd be a loss for the chain. If you were to leave with a sandwich, a drink, and an odd-end add-on, McDonald's would count that as a win. But now, dynamic yield, the kiosks, the McDonald's app, and drive-thru have all taken this to the next level through far smarter, far more personalized sales tactics. Digitized, personalized, customized menus means long gone are the days of the drive-thru board listing every possible meal item.
Because you don't need
to. If
you're
planning on ordering at the counter or off the digital menu at the drive-thru, you're only going to see the options the company wants you to see.
Which are the options that you probably want to see as well.
Prices are for extra value meals. If you're planning on just ordering a Big Mac and not the meal, you're going to have to ask. And if you want to know the exact price before committing, you'll have to ask for that too.
Oh, wow.
You can still order anything off the menu, of course, but a curated menu passively pushes your order towards what they want to sell.
Yeah.
And this goes both ways too. The company actively wants to make a sale too, and it's pushing options that have proved popular, or say if it's a super hot day, it'll push items like ice cream and cold drinks that it assumes will be popular. This curation also
Okay.
keeps things moving quicker too, as a massive menu with every offering slows lines to a crawl during rush hours. So to optimize the convenience factor the company leans on, it keeps these menus simple. If you want the full menu, you'll have to turn to the kiosks or the app, but it's going to be in exchange for your data, or at least asking for your data. Your location and your order habits are hugely helpful for McDonald's to optimize for efficiency.
Always click no on that data thing, by the way. If you, I mean, you always, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but a lot of people just click yes on everything. Kind of read what you're pressing yes
So
to.
when you use a kiosk, it'll ask you to log into your McDonald's account, and then it'll ask again. And once in, you'll just have to maneuver around the headline items like the brand new refreshers and the top ticket items like the Arch Burger, a novelty luxury item with fairly good margins, to get to your sandwich of choice. The app is going to be less pushy to get you to log in because once in, you stay logged in and you're incentivized to stay through the accumulation of points and the varying personal promotions, whether it's a free
How many
item on your
points y'all
birthday
got?
or a boilerplate limited time free medium fry with any order to hopefully get you in the door. Such deals create loyalty both ways, while also allowing McDonald's to better suggest and surface items to a customer based on their past orders. And it provides user data that then goes on to inform strategy and pricing company-wide. If, for example, you're consistently ordering Big Macs when they're $6.10, then when the price goes up to $6.49, you no longer order the sandwich, or worse yet, you no longer
You go to
spend at
In-N-Out.
McDonald's. That's extremely valuable information for the company to have, and ultimately information that the company will act on. While altering the quality of the product or the product itself presents a massive undertaking for a chain so big, screens and big data allow McDonald's to better alter and fine-tune
And
prices and
optimize what
offerings
they,
to best match what the customer is willing to pay. Where In-N-Out optimizes through what it controls in the physical world, the big chains optimize through the digital. In the wake of the $18 Big Mac meal going viral,
I want to
big
see.
chains.
Okay. So this is Burger King. Let's see. Right? Yeah, Burger King. Value fries. $1.99 is insane because it used to be 99 cents, right? You see, you have like the ads. You kind of see what the dude's talking about in the video, right? What did I want to like pause on? I don't think it shows on this screen. Yeah, it doesn't.
Optimize through the digital. In the wake of the $18 Big Mac meal going viral, concerns over McDonald's pricing strategy were voiced in an earnings call. The company was losing its important lower-income customer, and the perceived value of the company's products in relation to price was declining. The answer came in the form of a major value push. First, the $5 meal deal launched in
because
I
didn't want to like, because it didn't really show with the Burger King stock footage you got, but like Wendy's, I remember, not this time, like around the earnings call, I stopped fast food in 2024. Not like stopped it, but like after the weight loss, I stopped eating out a lot more. But I remember like Wendy's would have the $5 biggie bag, and then like Burger King would have better deals than McDonald's. Like if you weren't ordering like with deals in McDonald's, sometimes Dairy Queen would have better price per calorie. I always order price per calorie. I just ate a lot more. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah.
Then the McValue menu the year following. Both span breakfast and lunch items, both have marked a pivot in sales and broadly have proved to work. And yet, if you were to go to this McDonald's location in Darien, Connecticut, a Big Mac meal would still run you nearly $18. And that's because the word perceived in perceived value is doing a ton of work. McDonald's is not in the business of quality food or cheap food so much as it's in the business of convenient food at a
Exactly.
stomachable price.
Like I said
That's
earlier.
why the company developed the app. It's why it revamped drive-thru menus to get average ticket times down. It needs to provide a product at pace. More accurately, it needs to provide products at pace. It needs to be a place where you can grab lunch, a coffee drink, and a bag of ice all at the same time. But a customer will only act on such convenience so long as they believe they're not getting ripped off for a fairly unspectacular product. So McDonald's pores over the data, tinkers with prices, alters its value menu offerings over and over to find the precise price point that the customer will tolerate.
Exactly.
Recently, the company launched its own line of refreshers, and they're pushing the product hard. Now, these products, simply by being drinks, have high returns. But they also create incentive in the customer to alter habits. Rather than going to Starbucks, one
They go
could
to
just hop on the
McDonald's.
McDonald's app and order one of these along with a food item that Starbucks can't match. At $3.69 to $4.69, these drinks aren't cheap, but they're comparatively cheaper. They're cheaper than the options at Dutch Bros, Starbucks, and Sonic.
Seven
They're
Brew
just
mentioned?
cheap enough, the company hopes, for the customer to think they're getting decent value.
What is
for their
it with
money.
the like? Why do you guys go to Seven Brew, Dutch Bros? Why do y'all go to these coffee places? Genuine, I don't get it. I really don't get it. These coffees are like $8. I don't get it. That's too expensive. Is that not? Is it not more? Is it not just smart to just get a Keurig? Like I don't know. That's always been my thing. I never understand it. I know some. Never mind. I'm Barney and them. I'm not even gonna do y'all like that today.
And
I'm not even gonna do
benefiting
y'all
from the
like that today.
convenience of being able to grab food in the same stop, that they'll change up their typical afternoon refresher routine and instead bring their business over to the Golden Arches. The tech pivot is broader than McDonald's. Taco Bell, owned by the publicly traded Yum brand, has turned to a bifurcated
Yum
menu with
owns so
extreme
much.
value items and high-dollar bundle items pushed through the app.
Oh yeah, shout out Arrival. Arrival. This is once again before the weight loss. He put me onto a little meal. I say that like I can't just order this stuff and still eat it in a normal day, but I just eat a lot cleaner. But it was like a deal with like 2 tacos, something else, and then like one more side. I'm telling you, bro, when companies get value down, they get value down, bro.
Practically every fast and fast casual restaurant, from Jimmy John's to Panera Bread, have mobile apps and digital loyalty programs. Wendy's found itself in hot water when it launched a digital menu system that could potentially alter prices midday.
Yeah, midday.
Customers call it surge pricing, and the outcry started a larger conversation over an accusation that no restaurant wants to be associated with: dynamic pricing. Of course,
newsflash, they've been doing dynamic pricing. It's just not daily, you know? Like they're testing what your take it or leave it price is. Honestly, and I mean Walmart's doing it. I think we've watched a video on it. Check the YouTube. But Walmart is going to start putting digital price tags that change the price of products. My opinion on this is it shouldn't do that. Amazon does it where if you're in incognito, if you buy something, sometimes you get a better deal than somebody with Amazon Prime that's logged in. I've never been a fan of stuff like that. I feel like it's very shady. But it is something that happens. So a lot of companies would do it. Wendy's obviously tried to play in your face and be like, if you come during rush hour, we're going to charge you more for this food, which is shady.
None in the industry want to be associated with dynamic pricing, given how much distrust the label engenders. But the technology exists, the data and the data processing exists, and already at just about every big chain, though it doesn't happen over the course of the day, the prices of products do change.
Exactly.
The value menus shift around every few months. It may seem too far of a reach now, but pricing structures that shift by the hour and by the customer would fit the larger optimization and efficiency pushes that fast food has leaned into the last decade. Customers have come to stomach rising costs, so perhaps, if slowly and quietly implemented, they'll come to embrace dynamic ones.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it. If you want to go, I'm gonna talk like AC first. Imagine if you want to like go during rush hour, you can pay the extra price, or if you want to go after rush hour when the company is a lot slower, you might get a lower price, and it's gonna be more convenient for you. So it's gonna push out, it's gonna push the customer base around the whole day. And so there's a very big chance a lot of people stand to benefit. And then obviously, convenience-wise, if you have to get your food during rush hour, you just might be paying a little more. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of that because a lot of people are going to have to pay more because of a have to. But it's always been like that. Every business has been like that. They have to make money, There's
an interesting problem with how information spreads online today. Modern media ecosystems are incredibly efficient at amplifying stories, but not necessarily at helping people understand them. Important news events quickly fragment into thousands of headlines, reactions, and interpretations that all emphasize different incentives, angles, and narratives. So when news broke during the production of this video that the head of the Food and Drug Administration had resigned, I wanted a clear way to understand not just the story itself, but how the story was being framed. And that's why I turned to our sponsor, Ground.
Dang it, bro. I was like, Man, is this the outro of the video? No, he just okay, he just put the ad at the end of the video. Nice. I mean, good to know for because we're definitely watching him again. This was a good video. Yeah. Um Hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said at the beginning of the video, come through to the Twitch Story Mike with two eyes. Sub to the YouTube channel. I haven't been uploading because I've been dealing with some internet stuff. This might be the first upload back. I'm not too sure, but at the time of recording all these videos, I'm at 96 subs. So I might have already hit 100. I don't know. But go do that. I will see you guys later. Peace.